All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome Instagram Live to Renewal. Thank you. We're so glad you can make it, and we're so glad you guys can make it. We had some awesome hot dogs grilled by our very own Barry. We appreciate it. Thank you. And I know that you guys are on the edge of your seat waiting for the jokes of the week.
Yes, of course, of course.
We're waiting. So here we go. Are we ready? Okay. So, what is brown and sticky?
Brown and what?
What is it, Anna? Stick. Next one.
Why couldn't that be so?
What did the punching bag say to the boxer?
Punch me more. You're on a box.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
I want to get up with you.
Thank you. All right, so next one. Why do pimples make horrible prisoners?
Because they keep busting. You said what?
Because they keep breaking out.
Because they keep like no.
And the last one, I'm sure you guys know the answer to this one. Why can't a T-Rex clap his hands?
Because how hands are before?
Because they're extinct. See, I set you guys up so well. All right, so we're super excited. We have a new member of our worship team. All right, so let's give it up to the best worship team in all of youth group. You stand and join so we can worship the Lord.
Lord Jesus, thank you for this evening, bringing us here for this beautiful worship. Open our minds and our hearts to the word that you're going to give us tonight. Amen.
Amen. All right, so
Quick answer, yes.
so I'm going to embarrass some people. Our leaders in training, could you please stand up?
What does that mean?
Stand up. Stand.
Leaders in training. Leaders in training. Actually, Destiny, you're no longer a leader in training. You are
I just
a
want to
leader.
embarrass you.
Well,
So,
stand up so we can embarrass you more.
yeah. So our leaders in training, they recently graduated from high school. And they love this youth group so much, they have decided to become leaders. So kudos, yes, kudos to Brooke tonight for taking over check-in. Thank you. She was entering people, making them fill out the form. We got Avery over here. I'm going to say something there. Okay. Doing an awesome job up here. Okay, so thank you for helping out with that, because without you, it wouldn't be the same. So we appreciate you. Thank you. And Jacob, you too. Thank you.
Yes, so we have
You didn't stand up.
stand
Jacob's
up,
outside
Jacob.
playing football with the guys. I know that's something they don't like to do.
So Jacob and Destiny graduated actually last
2 years. Two
2
years
years
ago.
ago. So as of now, they are official leaders.
Official.
So
So thank
so
you.
they can't be bullied by anyone now. It's the new ones.
Yes, you can sit down now.
All right, so we are back for round 4, Squad Wars. Week 4, it's the last week.
Last week,
So-
middle school and high school girls, we need some points.
All right, so we're actually going to go ahead and break into groups. So high school boys over here in the front, middle school boys and girls in the middle, high school girls on the side over here.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Hey, we got a music.
Oh.
Hey, we got a music. Stay with these.
Quickly,
Come on up here, guys. Come on up
Quickly.
here. We got some games and stuff we're doing. I need everyone up close.
Middle school's up here. Travis, up here.
Come on, speed on up. We got games. You got to participate. You got to help the team out. All right.
Participation.
Raise your hand if tonight is your first night here. Raise it high. We have two.
Why are the high school boys always trying to lie? Always.
I'll take points away if you've
Yeah,
been here
points
before.
away. Points away.
All right, so we have two over here for high school girls. All right, we got two for high school girls.
Whoop, whoop. We got 2 for middle school.
2 for middle.
All right, we're trying to get those points any way we can. Come on, guys.
So any of you guys brand new? Yeah, so I'll take yours away because you've been here
That
before.
was like the 15th time we said that. Okay.
All right, so we have a game we're going to play. We got Squad Wars. All right, now we only have 11 rounds, so we need 11 people from...
Or they could, you know what?
What?
They could work together as a group and talk amongst themselves for the answer.
All right, let's do that. All right, so you guys are going to work together. All right, so you're going to have to get really close together. You're going to have to huddle up. All right, so huddle up real close because
At least be
you
able to
guys
talk to each
so
other.
if you guys want to come up here, huddle up so you can talk or however you want to do it, just get up nice and close. All right, so I'm going to give some instructions, so quiet down. All right, quiet down so you can hear the instruction.
Middle school. You have to be able to hear. High school girls, you have to be able to hear. All right. Here we go.
All right, so the game is banana for scale. Banana for scale. All right, so the banana is a universal method of measurement. We'll give you an item and using the standard banana length of 7 inches, you must tell us how many bananas, tall, long, deep, wide, whatever, something is. All right, now we are going to do Price is Right rules. You guys are too young to know what Price is Right is, so I will explain this. You will give us a number. I hear a lot of talking. You're going to miss the rules and then you're going to lose. All right, so you're going to discuss amongst yourselves, come up with a number. Right? You can't change a number once you tell us. So you're going to come up with a number with your group. Don't let other groups hear what you choose. All right? You guys got it? Don't let them hear. All right, so Price is Right rule is closest to, but not going over.
Okay, so for example, if I showed this and said, how many bananas long is this? If you said 2, then you would be over because it's only 1. So you would be incorrect. Do we understand how we're going to do this? Yes? Okay.
All right, so you guys ready?
Remember, don't shout out your answer.
Don't shout out your answer. We ought to have them write it down, that way they can't change it. But we don't have pens.
We don't have pens.
And you guys don't have your notebooks.
It's okay,
here,
we're going to
which
go
is
around.
so
We're going to go around. And
All
we're
right,
gonna-
leaders, get the number from them. Have them decide. You get the number. You would tell us the number.
Got
All
it?
right, got it? All right, here we go. Number 1, the Statue of Liberty. How many bananas for the Statue of Liberty?
Talk amongst yourselves and
amongst-
figure it out.
Be quiet. Don't let them hear. Hey, be quiet. Don't let them hear what you're guessing. Whisper. Hey, and no using the internet to divide out the height of something.
No phones shall be utilized. Barrett.
What's that? No, you gotta guess it. You gotta guess. It's a total guess.
No calculators, no
Hey,
phones.
if you guys are looking it up online and dividing it out, I'm gonna disqualify you. Well, Barrett was. All right. Leaders, do you have a final answer? All right, we're going to give you 10 more seconds.
Wait,
all right, hold on, we got a question. Hold on. I don't know. This is a pre-made game. So whatever they tell us.
Just go with the statue. Quietly.
All right. If you're yelling it out, they're going to hear, and then they might either go one under or one over just to beat you, because that is the Price is Right. All right, boys have an answer. Middle school. We'll give you 3 more seconds. 2, 1. All right, so we have a middle school answer. All right.
Okay.
Girls, you have an answer over here?
Okay. What's the answer over here? 2000? Middle school? 504?
504. High school boys, what's your answer? 245.
245?
All right. Closest without going over? 259. Now, did you guys look that up? You are in church. All right. All right, who's closest? Boys have it. If you guys are cheating, I will take 5 points off.
I was thinking it was close to 2002.
You want to wipe that one out? We're going to pull that because it's questionable how you guys came up with that number. Yeah, but y'all were like on the internet looking and... All right, here we go. All right, round 2. Round 1 doesn't count. We just wiped that one out. You ready? Round 2. Everybody ready? All right. NBA regulation basketball hoop height.
Basketball hoop height.
How many bananas?
The height.
How many bananas for the height? For the hoop height.
Bottom to top. Height.
To the hoop.
The
to the hoop.
whole thing.
No, to the hoop.
What?
Hoop height. The hoop is at a certain height.
Oh. From the floor, from the ground to the
hoop.
hoop.
Hoop height. Basketball hoop height.
From the ground to the hoop.
Not the backboard.
Not the top of the backboard.
Hoop height. Hoop height. All right. I'm going to count down from 5. You got to get your final answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Final answers in. All right. Middle school.
17.
All right. High school. High school boys. 15. High school girls.
30.
All right. We have 17.
Middle school, right on.
Middle school nailed it on the head. Huh? Middle school, they said 17. We've been staying here. But they win. Well, and I explained somebody was already on the internet. All right. Boy, who knew that this would be all spinning everybody up? All that squeaky ball has made it out. All right. Hey, I know you guys want to, take longer, but we just don't have all night, so we got to go quick. All right. Empire State Building. Hey, keep your volume down, otherwise they're going to hear you. All right, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we need ladies, final answer. All right, middle school. All right, high school boys. I need a leader to give me the answer. 1,300? 1,301. All right. Bananas for scale? 2140. High school boys get that one. All right, settle down, settle down.
So you're telling me that the Empire State Building is taller than the Statue of Liberty?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
All right. Round 4. All right, settle down. Man, that was nice. Russell Wilson. I don't watch football. I remember closest without going over. Price is Right rules. Hey, no cheating back there. I know you can see the answer. All right, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, final answer, guys. Final answer, guys. I need it from a leader. From a leader. 11 from a leader there. All right. 6 from middle school. Ladies. Hey. 12 from high school girls. Russell Wilson is 10. Middle school gets it.
Middle school gets it.
Middle school said 6. They did not go over. Yeah, it's 10. You guys said 11. You said 11. You said 11. You went over. All right, settle down, settle down. All right, here we go. Round 5. The depth of the Grand Canyon. Depth of the Grand Canyon. How many bananas?
Who came up with this game? I'm going to do a little stereotyping. Women are not good at measuring things.
I will give you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to start here in the middle. All right, ladies, final answer. 1,800. Guys, leader answer?
What was it? What did you say, 28,000?
How many? 28,000? 28,000. All right, Grand Canyon depth, 10,433. Sorry.
Middle school gets a point.
Middle school gets it. No, high school got it. That's 1,500, 1,800, that's 10,000. High school girls are closest.
Oh, yes, sorry. Sorry. They were in the bathroom.
They were in the bathroom anyway. All right. Phones away. Everybody phones away. No, we don't want them up here. Just hand them to your leader. Well, that's good that you did that. All right, y'all are yelling. You shouldn't be talking. Hop in the chair. Hey, let's calm it down.
All right.
All right. Round 6, Shaquille O'Neal. The Shaq. All right, we'll give you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies, final answer. Middle school, final answer. Boys, answer. 13. I'm not taking an answer from you guys, I'm taking it from your leader. So
it's gotta be a leader.
13. All right, Shaquille O'Neal, 12. So we have middle school. All right, so fun fact. I actually worked for the Orlando Magic. I worked in their IT department. And I went down to the coach's office because he was having an issue with his laptop. And I went down there and I walk in, and he's got a huge long office. And I'm fixing his computer or whatnot. And he comes in and talks to me for a little while, pops on out. And Penny Hardaway comes in, and he stands next to the door. And it looks all normal and stuff like that. And then we talk for a minute, and he hops out. Shaq walks in, and I noticed, man, he's a lot bigger than Penny. We talk for a minute, he heads out, and then when I finish with the laptop, I go to leave, and I realize that the handle on the door is like right here. It was at my shoulder. That's where the handle of the door is. So you think when you grab a door, it's like normally like down here. It was at my shoulder. It was a 10-foot door. I felt like a midget.
Okay.
All right. Round 7. A Burmese python. Now I'm assuming this is average length of an adult Burmese python.
Adult. Yes.
I don't know. Average of an adult. Adult is. Who's got their phone out? Samina, hand your phone to a leader. All right, hand your phone to a leader so we get rid of any vision of impropriety. Hand it over. All right, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Guys, answer. I need an answer from the leader. 20. No, you already gave me 20. You already gave me 20. You said 20. 25 for middle. Ladies, final answer. 6. All right, we'll see. 20. High school boys hit it on the head. All right, settle down, settle down. We're gonna move on. All right, round 8. You guys ready? All right, here we go. 1 mile. How many bananas in a mile? Remember, a banana, they're judging 7 inches. 7-inch banana. All right, we gotta move quick, so I'm gonna go ahead and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies. Final answer, ladies. All right, middle school. High school boys. 4,500 for boys. All right, here it is. 9,041. That is middle school. You guys are like cleaning up. All right. Round 9, we only have a couple rounds left. A football field. All right. The length of a football field. The length of the football field. I did not make the game. It was whatever they have. Alright. Alright. Leaders, get your answers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Middle school. 200. High school girls, answer. High school girls. All right, what's your answer? All right, guys have 424. 514. That would be high school boys. All right, round 10. Only one round after this. An MOP baseline. So they're all the same length, so just one baseline.
Like the first baseline?
I think they're all the same length.
They're all the same length. Okay, let's start with the high school boys.
All right. Hold on, we gotta do the countdown. 5, 4. Leaders, get your answers. 3, 2, 1. High school boys.
Are we taking from a leader?
119.
119?
200. And that would be middle school. 30. All right. 154. That is high school boys. Middle school went over. All right, last one. All right, last round. A school bus. Length. All right, 5, 4, 3. Let's get your answers. 2, 1. Boys, I'm getting it from the leader. 51. You said 51. All right. Are you changing it, or was that what you actually said? All right, here we go. 71 girls get that one. All right. All right, so go ahead and grab your chairs, hop in the seat. Stay in your groups, but hop in the seat. At the end.
On a side note, please know that I did not pick that game.
Hey, I told her about it. The game it suggested was one that you guys had done before. So I thought, maybe we'd pick something different.
Bah.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about how important it is for a squad.
I'm sorry.
To stick.
There's yellow right here.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about how important it is for a squad to stick together, but that's never more true than when life gets a little chaotic, like playing that game.
Huh.
And it does sometimes.
So have you ever gone ice skating or roller skating or rollerblading? I know as a group we went roller skating one time. Yeah, so sometimes life can feel like really out of control, like you're on rollerblades for the first time or something like that, really chaotic, and it feels like almost like gravity is against you, like you just want to fall all the time. Right?
Yep.
So here's some a few people that had issues too.
Unmute video. Want to see Troy do that when we went roller skating? All right, this one was pretty slick until dream. If you've never skated before, here's a tip. Let me get your attention. Here's a tip. Don't try and hold a friend's hand.
Because I will say, when we went roller skating, we had people that were holding hands, and it never failed. One person would fall, the other person would fall, because you're bringing them down with you.
All right, so not only is it uncomfortable, but everybody nearby is watching you struggle together. So, in our relationships or in our friendships, we tend to stand or fall together, sometimes literally. Whether you're roller skating, sledding, or just walking down a flight of stairs, has a friend ever tripped you up literally? Open question.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're walking, you got somebody that kick your feet as you're walking?
Just kind of try to trip you.
I had a buddy of mine I work with. that would kick my feet as we were walking. So
I'd take her ice
pop on up
cream,
here.
and then she'd fall down, so I'd zip it back around and spray her. And then I'd spray her.
So we're gonna
Sprayer? What?
face that way.
Gotcha.
All right. So we had this buddy of mine. So that's me. I'm my buddy. When we would walk, he would kick my feet as we walked. So I would always stumble.
Have you ever done that before? Just
Someone
as
do
soon
that
as
too?
a foot comes up, you kick it.
So he did this for a long time, and I finally got annoyed with it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get him back. So we're walking one time, and we're side by side now. So now he's my buddy, and I'm me. And we're walking through an aisleway at work, and we have our cubicles, and they're the high wall cubicles. And right as he's mid-step, like this, I go, and he just slams face first right into the cube. He didn't try and trick me anymore after that.
Okay, we don't recommend that. That's not a recommendation. Okay. So, not only our friends can trip us up, but actually other people can trip us up as well, which is fine when the results are funny or maybe only just a little bit painful, but sometimes people can trip us up in more important and destructive ways, such as they could try to influence us to make poor decisions. We can adopt others' negative attitudes or perspectives. We kind of get sucked into that negativity. Like, yes. Okay, I'm not going to say that one out loud, but yes. Change our beliefs or values to imitate someone else's. Right? So those are ways that people can trip us up.
So sometimes people can trip us up, and sometimes we can trip others up too. So we're going to have our small group discussion. So let's have you guys split into two groups, and have you ladies split into two groups. I think we got two groups, right? Yeah. So let's have you guys split into two groups, and then you guys can work as one big group. And we're going to do our first set of discussion questions.
Do you want to do two groups? Oh, okay, you want to do two
Middle
groups?
school wants two groups. All right, split your groups.
Okay, y'all need to get with your group and figure out which one you're going with.
All right. Quick, jump in a group. Guys, split into two groups, so you need to separate out a little bit. Where's Jacob? Come on, Jacob.
Or if you're mature enough to be able to talk like that, that's fine too. Yes, exactly. You can turn around. Perfect.
Actually, girls, you have 3 leaders, so if you want to split into 3 groups, I'll
They're
do
good,
this one.
they're good.
They're good? Okay, I'll leave you alone.
But they got it together.
They got it. The girls got it going. All right, come on. Hurry up. Break your groups. All right, we have 2 middle schoolers incoming.
Come over here and
So
flip.
come on this side. All right, right. Small group. All right. Here it is.
Guys,
Settle down,
whoa.
please.
Whoa. Careful. Thank you. All right. Small group discussion question number 1. Tell us your biggest wipeout story. Number 2, think about a time a friend influenced you for good or bad, and tell us about it. right, if we could have everyone's attention back up front, please. Everyone's attention back up front. Thank you. We appreciate that. Real quick, Wipeout story. Back in my day, Disney used to do, they did rollerblade marathons. So you did the rollerblades for 26.2 miles. In Disney, through Disney, it was awesome, except for there was one part, and I think it's through Epcot maybe, where the boardwalk is, and that boardwalk is not like, it's not real wood. It's just, well, it's really slick. So, and the rollerblade marathon is done really early in the morning. And so there's a lot of dew and moisture on the ground. And coming to the boardwalk, of course, because, you know, why not? It's, you go down a hill and you have to turn. So I go up the hill, I'm doing good. Coming down the hill, I'm doing good. Make the turn, hit that boardwalk, feet go out from under me, I'm all over the place. So, yeah, it was not pretty. Not pretty at all. But I completed it. I got back up and I completed it. So that's all that counts. All right.
All right, I'll talk about a time a friend influenced me. So I had a buddy that I grew up with from pre-K up. And I knew him for the longest time. And he was a little bit of a wild card, always something going on, or just crazy. And I was a quiet kid and wanted to try and just fit in with his crazy lifestyle. And we went to a store with his family, and I thought it would sort of boost my self-image to steal something. And I got busted shoplifting. So it wasn't a cool experience, but that's how, you know, wasn't something that I needed, not something that it was a Walkman, just a cassette, a player for,
Yes,
headphones.
you guys don't know what a Walkman is.
Sort of like what you're doing here with your phone, with your earbuds in, right? We had that for just music. But, you know, I just thought it was something that I could do, and he would think it was cool, and he actually didn't think it was cool at all. I was really sort of surprised. So, but that's how I let a friend actually influence me. He wasn't trying to make me do it. I just thought he would think I was cooler because I did it.
Yeah, so pretty much we all know that we are imperfect people. We all are. And our relationships can sometimes feel like we're losing that war with the gravity, like I said when we were talking about roller skating, losing your war with gravity. We pull each other down, or sometimes we let ourselves be pulled down by other people. And instead of letting those relationships actually build us up. But what if we did? What if we did have our relationships that felt less like a roller coaster and more like these dad wins, like somebody's got your back?
All right, this one's an awesome one. Like pulling a fish out of the ocean. Jack said he caught the ball that they kicked through. Weren't expecting that one, were they? It was drifting. Superman died. It's like a 10-foot drop into that bay. Yep. Watch more or put it off?
We're good.
We're good. That's a good one there. Oh, that was a nice one there.
So wouldn't it be amazing if you could trust people to have your back like these guys did? This was or your legs, yeah. having somebody that's there looking out for you, looking for your best interest, and intervening whenever you're in trouble.
All right, so we have discussion questions. First question, talk about a time someone had your back when you needed them. What did they do for you? And the next one, what are some situations where we might need people to help or protect us? Those are your questions. We don't have too long, so go quick.
I know that we're cutting you very short on your discussion questions, but we have to keep moving on. So there are so many reasons why we need to have someone that's going to have our back, why we need that person in our lives. Like those kids with the fathers who were catching them and they had their back. So we need people to have our back, like when
Hang on. All right, I hear a lot of talking over here. Leaders, I need you to get your groups under control. All right? We're low on time. We had a late start. We got to get your groups under control. Youth, respect the leaders and us. We spent a lot of time preparing all of this. I know it's end of the day. It's tough after being cooped up at school to basically do another class, really. But this is a Bible study. We do fun and games. We have fun. But this isn't just run rampant, go crazy. All right? So respect the people that are putting time in to you. I still see talking going on. Do we need to break groups up? Don't put your hands up because you guys are going back. I'm watching you go back and forth. So we'll break groups up if we need to do it.
All right, so there are so many reasons why we need people to have our back, such as when we do something that's dangerous and might be pretty stupid. We really need somebody to just tell us, you need to stop. Or if we're struggling, hurting, or feeling alone, or even when we're questioning what we believe. We need to have those friends that can bring us back to where we are supposed to be.
So Jesus followers aren't perfect, and God's family often has a lot of issues to work out. But the stories that we've been telling you is because we need to be reminded how the church can function when it's at its best.
So today we're going to finish our journey through the book of Ephesians and our conversation about how God's family is supposed to be when it is working its best. But here's a quick recap of what we've discussed so far. Remember, when we talk about the church, we're not talking about a building, we're not talking about a service or an event, we're talking about the people all over the world who follow Jesus.
So in this book that we're reading was originally a letter written by a man named Paul who wanted to help early Jesus followers figure out how to be God's family, both in how they related to God and how they related to each other.
And also remember, now this letter was written to a whole community, and they didn't have a way to share that letter, so they would all gather together and they would all read the letter, kind of what we're doing today. Same thing.
So now we're going to look at chapter 6, where Paul had one final word for the Jesus followers in Ephesus. Here, he reminded them that if they were going to stand strong in their faith, they were going to need some protection. So we're going to read Ephesians 6:10 through 20. All right, here we go. So finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions, with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. Pray also for me, that whenever I speak, words may be given me so that I fearlessly make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains. Pray that I may declare it fearlessly as I should.
So Paul actually talks a lot about protection from our enemies. But you might be asking yourself, what do you need protection from? How does the enemy attack us? So we mentioned these ways earlier. We might need protection from doing something dangerous, destructive, or just plain stupid. When we're experiencing hopelessness, fear, or loneliness, or if we're losing our way or walking away from our faith in Jesus.
So in the Greco-Roman world of the first century, when Paul was writing this letter, Rome had conquered much of the world. So there were Roman soldiers everywhere, and since they were the invaders and conquerors, most people didn't like them. So for early Christians, Roman soldiers were disliked even more, or for even more reasons. I lost my place. The Roman government had played a role in Jesus' crucifixion. The Roman soldiers were actively imprisoning, threatening, harming, and even killing followers of Jesus.
So with that in mind, Paul actually did something a little bit interesting. He used the imagery of a Roman soldier's armor. Now remember, Christians weren't really crazy about the Roman soldiers. He did that to tell the church they needed some armor of their own. And it wasn't the kind of armor they were expecting. So here, and we're just going to recap from what we read in Ephesians, but here are the pieces of armor that Paul tells us to wear. He tells us to wear the belt of truth. It's a reminder. It's a reminder to keep God's truth close to us, where we can always reach it. The belt is a part of the armor that holds all the other pieces of armor in place. God's truth can protect us.
The breastplate of righteousness is a reminder to follow Jesus, not just in our words, but in our actions. When we choose what's wrong instead of what's right, we leave ourselves vulnerable to serious damage. But we can be protected by choosing to act righteously and receiving God's gift of righteousness through Jesus.
Now, Paul also tells us in Ephesians chapter 6, he talks to us about the shoes of peace. And that reminds us that we always need to be ready to share the good news of Jesus, that we can all know God through Jesus' death and resurrection.
The shield of faith keeps us protected from lies that try to tell us Jesus isn't who he say he is, or that he won't do what he says he will do. Sometimes we can believe lies not only about God, but about ourselves. Maybe someone's words or actions have turned into messages you continue to replay in your mind about your identity, worth, or purpose. But because you have a shield of faith, you no longer have to believe lies about God or about you.
We're also reminded about the helmet of salvation. That is our reminder that our thoughts can be one of our greatest battlegrounds, but God has already won that battle for us. Because salvation comes through Jesus, we can believe and trust that our battle against sin has already been won, even when we're struggling to stand strong.
And finally, we're going to talk about the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. In an actual life or death situation where the early Christians were being imprisoned and murdered by their enemies, isn't it interesting that Paul says their greatest weapon is the Word of God? No matter what attacks we face, Paul tells us we can protect ourselves by holding tight to everything God has said and the Holy Spirit has revealed to us.
So Paul actually tells us to put on every piece of armor. And it's probably because he knew that we would tend to ignore or toss some to the side. So that was our reminder. So imagine what would happen if we were all in battle, but had forgotten some or all of our armor. Even the best trained armies wouldn't survive very long without their protection. If you're running around with just a belt and a helmet, and I'm next to you with only my shoes and my sword, we don't stand a chance. If we're going to stand strong, we all need all of our armor.
So did you guys notice the armor of God doesn't say anything about protecting our backs?
Repeat that.
It doesn't say anything about protecting our backs.
Okay.
So maybe that's because we're never meant to go into battle alone.
We're always meant to be together. Paul asked his fellow Jesus followers to pray for him. He knew he needed his squad. And we have up there the recap of Ephesians 6, chapter 6, 18 through 20, where he asked to be prayed for. Paul even knew that he needed his squad. And remember, this isn't a letter written to just one person. It's written to a whole group of people. None of Paul's instructions can be fully put into practice without a community.
So Paul is calling us to stand strong in our faith. And if we want to stand strong in our faith, no matter what our enemy throws at us, we can stand strong together. So
I don't know what battles you're going through. I don't know what you're currently fighting in your mind or with other people, or if you're fighting with other people in this room. And I don't know what kind of battles we're going to face this year. But no matter what challenges come our way, I believe we can face them together, because that's what God's family does.
So if you're fighting a battle you're not sure you can win, we can hold you up and guard your back. If you think you've already lost whatever battle you've been fighting, don't give up yet. Remember, Jesus has already won your battles for you. And if you see someone else in God's family fighting a battle, you know what to do.
All right, so here are some 3 ways that we can stand strong together. First thing, as Paul said, put on your armor. Don't just toss it aside. Don't ignore it. Suit up every day in God's protection. You're not the only one at risk if you don't, because we all are. We're only as strong as our weakest link. We need each other, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you're struggling to get that armor on.
So you need to help someone else with their armor. If you see someone else on the battlefield who seems to have forgotten a piece of their armor, help them. This goes back to what we were talking about last week. So you got to notice when someone's struggling, and you reach out and you help them.
And the absolute most important thing is pray. Like Paul asked the Ephesians to do, pray for each other. A prayerless life is a powerless life, and we're called to live a life fueled by God's power. You don't have to pray long. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be scripted, but don't go long without praying.
All right, we're going to skip, since we're running a little late, we're going to skip the last discussion set of questions. So if we can get the worship team up. Yeah, I'm about to do it. I'm just going to let them. If we can have everyone else come back into the center, please.
No.
Hunter, this is Taryn. This is Hunter.
I've seen her 40
Yeah, not on the row with the camera, please. Not on the row with the camera, please.
Oh, yeah. And
A lot of seats up front.
Oh, yeah.
for lifers. For lifers.
All right, let's settle down. We're almost done.
I need somebody who's full.
All right, so sometimes we all face battles that seem overwhelming or even impossible. But no matter what kind of battle you face, I hope you remember this. You don't have to fight your battles alone. Someone needs you to fight alongside them. And Jesus has already won the war. And we're on the winning team. Because of what God has done to rescue and equip us, we can stand strong together. Lord Jesus, we thank you for everything you've done for us. You've given us a squad. Hopefully, what we've been talking about the last few weeks, we can take to heart that we need to help each other out. That we need to look out for each other. We need to support each other. Because you never know when someone is struggling with any part of their life. And just being there for them can be such a big difference. You can inspire people. Help us remember that we can inspire those around us. And we have a wonderful week ahead. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. So, a couple things. We don't really have any announcements. We don't have much going on. We had our Fun Friday. So who was here for Fun Friday? So, I know, you had to be gone because you were in uniform doing flag duty. There was so much toilet paper in the sanctuary. I actually still see some pieces here and there, so it's pretty funny that it's still in here.
Why did they have toilet paper?
Because we did toilet paper dodgeball. We told me to do that again. And we did water balloon battleship.
Yes.
And then everyone get Barrett with the water balloon. That was another round or two that we did. All right, so 4 weeks. 4 long weeks.
We tried. Wow. How y'all lose to middle school?
How did we lose to
All right, so high school boys are 20, followed by middle school with 11, and high school girls with 10. All right, so we talked about prizes. All right, high school boys, may I have you come line up over here?
They some weird kids. They get
Whoa, guys.
Good job, guys.
So, Mr. Ken. Oh, Mr. Ken. Mr. Ken. Didn't we talk about squad and family and having each other's back and being there for each other?
Yeah, you guys rocked it. So I brought 2 candies because I know not everyone's a chocolate person. So if you like chocolate, I got chocolate. Otherwise, we got all kinds of sweet stuff. So you can grab some candy. You guys get to watch them eat it.
Oh, that's got to sting.
No.
Wow.
No. All right, how about this? Because we're all a squad together, everybody gets some. However, they go first. They get to pick what they want. You guys get the leftovers.
Do not eat the candy in the sanctuary. Do not eat the candy. summer camp. We have a lost and found box up here of items that were left from summer camp. I need you to please come look through this. I don't know where all these baseball boots came from. Oh. A Renewal Youth hoodie. Michigan sweatshirt.
I'll be taking that.
Oh, I'm kind of scared of what that is. I don't know. Pair of shorts. Just kidding.